Okay, next up we're going to take a look at the objectives. Starting with Tier 1. So, any objective which requires you to spend something, I tend to avoid. I think one game I went for this because that was the game where I lost my war son early, so I had like 2 turns where I wasn't really doing much. So I was able to amass some tokens. So I spent out on that to keep up. But generally speaking, I don't like these. I don't like spending stuff for points. And I know you have to, work the objectives to win this game. Definitely. But with the Muaat, this is a race that struggles enough with command tokens, and you need a lot of resources to build your your second war son and stuff, and the influence you need to be spending on the secondary of leadership, because like I said, you struggle on command tokens. So yeah, I don't like going for these. And I just try and ignore them if I can get away with it. That being said, I'm much more of a fan of going for the ones. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. Yeah, I like the technology ones. Off of the more, I try to go heavy on tech as much as I can. So I like trying to set up for these. Otherwise, I'll try and go for these. These are hard to do. Some of them can be definitely hard to pull off, but you have a war son. Most people aren't going to mess with you. So I think you will have a slightly easier time trying to get these objectives than other races, for example. So these are the ones I tend to try and score. And this is the same principle for Tier 2. Yeah, anything that's to do with spending, I will tend to avoid. But it's worth 2 points, so in Tier 2, it makes a big difference, and especially for a 10-point game. I'm more likely to go for these ones in Tier 2. But again, if I'm going to avoid it, I can, but, it's how it goes. Luck of the flip, luck of the draw. Yeah, I'm more likely to try and go for these ones here again. Technology stuff, this is, yeah, you're probably not getting this one, actually. Yeah, you're not getting that. Forget that. That's just not happening with your race. This is alright though. You can pull this off. 3 unit upgrade techs. What? Destroyer 2, War Sun 2, PDS 2. Or even Carrier 2. You can definitely pull this off. This is doable, definitely. This is difficult but doable. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I don't know how you're gonna do this. This is I've never pulled this off. Yeah, this is good. Pulled that one off. Yeah, this is tricky. Possible, but tricky. Tricky stuff. So yeah, and then secret objectives. I think of all the secret objectives, there's only really 2 that you have no business attempting. That's these 2. 5 dreadnoughts on the game board. You are not a dread race, so just forget about this. Do not even bother. If you have this secret objective, do not diversify and try and build dreadnoughts. Just forget about it. Do not do this. And have 1 or more ships in 6 systems. This is difficult for you because your fleet, the Muaat, your end game, if everything's going well, you should have a maximum of 3 fleets. 2 War Sun fleets and maybe a 3rd fleet with your flagship, which I need to talk about at some stage. Should I just do it now? Very quickly sidetrack a bit. Yeah, okay. What is it? Flagship. Okay, we're going to go on a little tangent because I'm not sure when I'm going to mention this, but yeah, this could be your 3rd fleet, the flagship. It's either on its own or you have 2 fleets, and one of your War Suns will have your flagship with it. So your flagship's not amazing. It has good dice, good attacks. 2 dice and 5. That's pretty good. But the ability itself it's okay. The stall is great. And in theory, getting a cruiser is better than, a dreadnought or 2 fighters. But, as I've mentioned earlier, the probability that you roll offensively with the destroyer to produce hits against fighters is greater than a cruiser. In other words, your Starforge is just a better ability. You want to be producing destroyers rather than cruisers, even though in theory cruisers cost more. So but anyway, getting back to the point, you're going to have either 2 or 3 fleets. So you're getting ships in 6 systems is probably just not going to happen. But the rest of these are actually, obviously these ones are dependent, on what planets are around you. This is doable, definitely. You've got a good offensive flagship to pull that off. Especially if you have a War Sun as well with you. Yeah, the rest of these are pretty doable. Have 1 or more ships and systems that are... Yeah, we do that. Yeah, discard 5 action, yeah, definitely. 4 technologies of the same colour. Yeah, if you're going to do this, you're probably going to go for red. You just do this, you just go red and finish this off. Probably the best way. Yeah, you can do, that's easy to do. Well, not easy, but you can definitely do that. Yeah. No, this is easy to do, man. Like, you have the best bombardment in the game. Like, come on, you have a War Sun that rolls 4 dice on 3s with bombardment and plasma scoring. This is so easy for you to pull off. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, this is easier for you to do because you have plasma scoring. You have to set this up more. It's not like the other one, where your War Sun's already primed. You have to generate a bit of a PDS network to pull this one off. But you can definitely doable. Depends on the planets around you. Yeah, you can do this. It depends where the wormholes are, but yeah, it's pretty doable. Yeah, it's doable. That's doable, definitely. Yeah, not easy to do, but you can definitely do that. And yeah, this is good for you as well, because your tech path encourages you to get both of your faction technologies anyway, if things go to plan. So yeah, it's just these 2 that you just don't want to be doing these 2. Everything else is, more or less fair game. And now, I'm not going to cover every single agenda and action card, but there's a few that I want to run. Oopsie daisy. There's a few I want to run through. Let's start with action cards. So yeah, direct hit. This has to be mentioned. There's 4 of these in the deck. I mean, these are... if we're taking the Star Wars reference, this is basically the 1 in a million, the Death Star plans. Getting the lucky shot on the War Sun and destroying it. You pretty much never want to use sustained damage on War Sun unless you have no choice. Because, if someone has one of these cards, yeah, you're pretty stuffed. You are pretty damn stuffed. But yeah, conversely, this is a good card for you to have in your hand. Because if you have this in your hand, that means there's less chance for other people to have them. So yeah, acquiring these is good if you can. Drawing action cards is a good thing. I mean, for any race, but particularly for you, it's good for you to be trying to draw action cards. But it's not an early priority. You know, I've talked about your turn 1 and your turn 2 priorities already. Once you've got your engine rolling, then you can start trying to, you know, feed off the secondary of politics, for example. Start, you know, drawing into more of this stuff. Sabotage again, you know, have to just to, if nothing else, to counter direct hit. Having just one of these in your hand is really, really good. It gives you a lot of breathing room when it comes to attacking people. You're just less fearful of the direct hit. You can be a bit more ballsy with your War Sun. So yeah, definitely trying acquiring these 2 cards is good if you can. And then other good cards in particular, Ghost Ship. I like this because, like I said, with the strategy that I'm going to start using more going forward, War Suns and Destroyers is going to be my main fleet force. So yeah, being able to get a free destroyer is very nice. Courageous to the end. I mean, if things go to worse and you lose your War Sun, this basically guarantees you taking out 2 of your opponent's ships. Sorry. Spy. Oh, let's move these up a little bit. Yeah, up a little further even. There we go, it's a bit better. I wasn't looking at the camera. Spy is nice just because, you know, action cards are good for you. Unexpected Action gets a special mention because you have War Suns, basically. You know, being able to move your War Sun out again is just huge. So this is especially strong for the Muaat. Disable's a nice one. PDSs are annoying, especially if they have Graviton Laser. You know, being able to, you know, disable and then get your Mega Bombardment off with your War Sun is, yeah, it's pretty satisfying. And then Fighter Prototype is the only other one I'm going to mention. Because you tend to have, you know, a lot of fighters around your War Suns, being able to bolster their attack for, you know, one round is good. It's good. There's obviously other action cards which are good as well. I just want to mention these 8 in particular. And moving on to Engenders. Now, I think there's a couple. I think these 2 mainly, in fact, are the ones that you need to be especially fearful of. This is the War Sun one, publicized weapon schematics. Yeah, this is, you know, if this comes out, people are gonna screw you. You're gonna get screwed, man. Like, honestly. Yeah, if this comes out, I think you're gonna soon find other people around the table will have War Sun tech. And both are painful for you because they're against. This means you lose all your action cards. It's pretty painful. The good thing about this is that this only comes into play once you've researched your War Sun 2, prototype War Sun 2. I mean, speaking of which, that's a little bit of a funny. It's called a prototype War Sun 2, and yet it's superior to the regular War Suns. I just found that a bit funny, I guess. But anyway, yeah, you know, the fact that you start with War Suns does not mean that you does not constitute to you owning the technology. You have to actually have the card. So you're okay. In fact, on both of these, in fact. But still, this is a bit nasty. This is a bit of a nasty one. Anti-intellectual revolution. My playstyle of the Muaat tends to be tech heavy. So I will try and research lots and lots of technology. So this is a painful card I have found when it comes out. I'm not happy to see this when this hits the field. There are other races that will suffer harder, but with my playstyle of the Muaat, I am certainly feeling the pain. And then for other cards, we have the Homeland Defense Act. This is alright. Like PDSs are good for you. They're bad for you and they're good for you. So being able to if you're going the strategy which lists PDSs everywhere, this is a good card. Being able to draw more action cards. I mean, you want action cards. This is good. This is amazing for you. This is such a good card to come out for you, because you rarely have you are very rarely going to have more than 4 tokens in your fleet pool. Let's face it. Let's face it. This is fantastic for you. This is also fantastic for you. You are not a race that cares about dreadnoughts and cruisers. You're just not about that. You're about war suns and destroyers. So yeah, this is great if this comes out. This is alright as well. Like I said, you're a race that's got to have quite a few fighters. So yeah, being able to, and you can get around the production with your Starforge ability. So this is a good card that can come out for you. It's not amazing. It's decent. Unconventional measures. I mean, best case. The best case scenario is that no one has any action cards, because then you're safe to attack wherever you want. That's the best case scenario. So this is a decent card to come out. This is also decent, limiting the amount of action cards that people can have. I mean, it hurts you as well, but it's decent. This is again good because you have War Suns being able to move again. It's devastating when you have War Suns. This is good because the way I play these guys, I'm heavy tech, so this is a good card to try and win as well. And finally, this gets a special mention because being able to take a requirement off the red when researching tech is strong. The equivalent for blue and yellow as well, but mainly red and maybe blue are good.